We're recording. That was a little bit delayed on my monitor. Hi, y'all. Happy Monday. Monday night. I am definitely still in Bali time. It's like a 12 to 15 hour difference from the US. So it's just everything is flopped. So I'm like going to bed at like 3 a.m. and waking up a little before 3 p.m. But it just, everything feels flopped. But it is good to be back in my cozy corner. It is my last year in this apartment, so it's bittersweet. And one thing I recognized is we don't fully appreciate something until we know that there's an expiration date. And every year when my lease is ready to be renewed, I'm always like, I'm ready to go, but I don't know. So I guess I'll do another year. Um, I don't share the city that I live in, but it's not a city where I see myself flourishing or building community. And I think this next season, which is mid 30s to mid 40s, because I try to move like every 5 to 7 years. If you are biblical, or I think even in astrology, um, every like seven is the cycle of completion. So every 7 years, I try to go through a full reinvention, whether that's of self, of identity, of business, of location. So I know that this next space is going to be where I am for the next at least 7 years. And, we talk often about being tricontinental. I talk often about being tricontinental. So what that entails is we have a US base, we have a Bosnian base, and then the other base is like pretty much Bali or wherever we feel like traveling, Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, wherever. But the whole idea is that we travel to get inspiration from the world and to just have that harmonious balance of life and business. And I think what I struggled with in my 20s is that so much of my identity was built around being an entrepreneur that there were all these other areas of my life that kind of took the sidelines: friendships, romantic relationships, health. So I think just the balance of everything, um, that's what the multiple locations allows us, is just more balance and that spontaneity of just appreciating all that life has to offer. And, being child free by choice as well, we do recognize that a lot of the choices that we're making are very intentional. We know that we already live an unconventional life, and we also appreciate like being in fellowship with other people that have completely opposite lives, because we get perspective and we also get to like swap, stories, and it's just fun. So it's not to say that like this is the way that's superior, not at all. I think the beauty of humanity is that we all get to like make conscious choices that lead us down different paths and yeah, different stories, different experiences. And then the beauty is coming together as a community and sharing those experiences with each other. So yeah, it's really cool. And so we're going to be visiting 4 or 5 cities in the next month, um, around the US, and just figure out like where do we think we'll find. I mean, I've already shared the process, but I think we have a little bit more clarity. Sun is a big deal. So I feel like, gosh, I don't want to fully cancel the North because there's a couple cities that are top contenders that are in the North. And I'm like, man, because we don't need sun year round because we're not in the US year round. So it's going to be really interesting visiting all of these cities during their peak seasons, which is like summertime. They'll all have the best weather. So I think we're going to get the best experience possible in each city and probably stay like 1 to 2 days so we can fully walk around the neighborhoods of the buildings, see what local stores or just entertainment stuff is around, churches. So I'm really excited. I don't know how I got on that topic, but oh yeah, I'm jet lagged, but I'm back home. um, and Stefan and I were talking about how it's crazy when this is why digital nomad life is not for everyone, and why I walked away from it as my full-time lifestyle is there's so much of your mental capacity that's taken up when you are translating languages, currencies, figuring out where to eat, getting your laundry done, pick up, like checking in, checking out, Airbnbs, communicating with vendors. Like there's so much. and, and every time I come back to my space, I'm like, oh, I'm creative again, or like I will just have a flood of ideas. And it's a combination of the experience from just being out in the world and turning my brain off of like business, and then coming back here and turning it on because everything around me is like set up to benefit my business. And yeah, it's just, sorry, you just drink some water on that. Okay, so to the prompts, what I did, what I learned, what I felt. What I did is traveled a lot. I don't often travel through, well, the hours going from Asia to the US. I often go through Europe, but this time around I went through South Korea. And I have to say, Seoul might have one of the most beautiful landing views. Well, okay, there's obviously Hawaii and Fiji, but it's so clean, it's so crisp. Like South Korea and Japan just remind me of what the future is going to look like. If any of you are just like curious about 10 to 20 years into the future, what is it like? Go to South Korea or Japan because they just got it. They're set. They're so organized in a way that they're just so efficient and they're so clean with their efficiency. So yeah, landing in South Korea was just so beautiful. The whole experience was seamless. The airport was spotless. It was just such an easy process. And I'm having flashbacks of the last time I laid over there. And I was like, man, it just, I've been through so many airports, and it's just wild that I still can remember the layouts whenever I come back. So yeah, travel through there. What Stefan and I are doing is he's back in Bosnia, I'm back in the US, and we're kind of like going back into our like zones of like, okay, hyper focus for like 2 to 3 weeks, and then we reconnect. And we do know our relationship is a little unconventional in that way as well, because we do spend so much time together. And I think when in our first year of dating, like if someone lives in your city and you're getting to know them, like you go out on like 1 to 2 dates a week, maybe three, and maybe you're spending the night. I don't know. But like the hours that you spend together are, yeah, I don't want to say minimal, but it's like when you're in the same city as someone, it's almost like you take for granted their presence. But when you don't live in the same city, when you are together, you are so much more intentional. And so when we were like living together and traveling together for like 3 to 4 months at a time and running a business together, that is so much compounded time. So we are super intentional about maintaining our individual identities outside of our marriage. So it's nice to like still have a part of me, like the old version of Glow that I love, that I can still tap into. And it's all just like it's a process, but I love it. And I don't know if anyone else who's watching is in like first 2 years of their relationship, marriage, but I feel like this is my favorite phase. Like this has been really fun. And I feel like we have our stride. Like maybe in the first year, you have sometimes those power struggles and you're figuring out your footing, but we have such a smooth flow now and just falling deeper for each other. What did he say the other day? He was like, how is it that I'm still falling so much deeper in love with you? And I'm like, same. It's so cute. Like it's just really safe and secure. And I've never known a love this healthy. And I'm just so grateful to be in it. Like every day is just like it's just really fun. So I just feel very blessed and full of gratitude in that area. So yeah, that's pretty much all we did. I think I yeah, paid $200 for overweight luggage fees to bring all my stuff back. Here's the thing, every time I go to Bali, like I have a storage unit, so I'll just like leave my Bali clothes in Bali. And when I go there, I can just come there with a small suitcase because I have most of what I need. And this time around, because we passed through Turkey and Bosnia, which were in their winter seasons before we got to Bali, I had a lot of my winter clothes or like warmer clothes on me. So I was like, couldn't bring a carry on. So I had my check in. And then when I looked at the Bali bag in the unit, I was like, well, this is small enough to just bring back. And I think I want to recycle the clothes that I wear to Bali anyway. So yeah, that was I'm glad I did that because now that I'm in my last year of being in this apartment, which I'm so inspired to create more content now. I feel like I've been hiding this place from the internet. And here's a quick like side note. Sometimes when you work so hard to like get to your dream, there's like this, what is it? Survivor's guilt? It's not survivor's guilt. I don't know what to call it, but when you see that there are still so many other people like working towards what they want, and then you don't want to feel like you're bragging, like I made it, I'm in my dream apartment. So like after like the first like couple months of the excitement of this place, I think I just stopped sharing it because I don't know. I didn't want to come off as like I'm bragging that I live in this luxurious building. Like this was my dream and I didn't expect to get to it so fast. And then probably secretly, I didn't know if I'd be able to stay here. There's like that scarcity mindset because lifestyle creep is real and people need to be mindful, especially as entrepreneurs, that as you're building, you're not increasing your expenses too much because, yeah, that can also be golden handcuffs. So 5 years later, still here, still doing well. So that's been a blessing because it shows that, like, yeah, I had to like stretch myself to believe I was worthy of living in a place like this and that I could afford it long term. And I've been a lot more disciplined financially over the years. And yeah, after I furnished this place, I still don't have anything that is like a big splurge. If anything, I'm probably saving more money now because I'm sober for 2 years. So I don't drink any alcohol. So I think I had an alcohol subscription that was like $200 a month. So just, I think I shop more mindfully for groceries as well. I eat out less, less Uber Eats. So yeah, I feel like I'm saving more money as the years go on and then making the same, if not more. No, definitely making more than when I first moved in here. But year over year, I'm kind of like, yeah, smooth sailing. So things feel very nice. And there's a term I used on Threads the other day called cozy entrepreneur. And I think that's what I am. I saw I saw that used on a sign, and I was like, "I'm a cozy entrepreneur. That's what I am. Someone who prioritizes like long-term sustainability over short-term scalability, and someone who also like really loves what they do, and they're not trying to exit. Like I don't see us selling the business. I don't see us selling our company. Like we love to be in the business, and I think." I mean, it's not for everyone for sure. Like coaching and working with clients, maybe that can feel like draining, but for me, it fills me up and it reminds me of my purpose. And I think I just have like a servant heart. So I really love to like help people who are struggling with the things that I've overcome. Or if I see myself in them, I'm like, oh, okay, I know exactly what they're feeling because that was what I was saying, in year two. So yeah, it's just interesting to kind of like take note and take stock of like my journey and our goals for the future. But who knows? Like, never say never. Everything is up for grabs. And we're actually starting our second company, which is like kind of a byproduct of the Life Leap. By the way, applications for the third cohort are open. So check out thelifeleap.com if you want to work with us for a year. Just a quick synopsis of what the program is. It is helping you turn your idea into income and make an impact, a long-term impact with that. And I think I will just say probably the differentiator between how we run our company versus other maybe business coaches is that we don't hire coaches under us. We work individually with each person and we limit our classes to 20 so that it stays intimate and people actually like we know them on a first name basis. We know their kids and their spouses, like all of that. And it's all inclusive of the mastermind, the group coaching, and the course curriculum. So we wanted it to be like an all-inclusive experience, and you get to work with us for a year. So I think, not to lie, it's the best program on the market for people who are trying to become an entrepreneur or just build like a side income. Like I'm really proud of the work we've done. Stefan brings so much just incredible technical side, and I bring a lot of the design visionary side and like marketing side, but together it's just like a business powerhouse. So we cover all bases and yeah, nothing's off limits. So I love that about how we run it. Okay. Where was I? So yeah, I think that's what we did. So it's gonna be. I'm excited. I'm excited. This year feels like one big closure, and it's just a lot happening in the background, and just really excited. What I learned. What did I learn? Ooh, here's what I learned. You will always tell yourself stories if you don't have the answer for something. So let's say you have, I don't know, a conflict with a neighbor, and the story you're telling yourself is that they don't like you for whatever reason. Like they just decided to like cut you out of their life. And you can continue with that story unless you find or seek or solicit an answer directly. And it's up to you to figure out whether, yeah, you want to be brave enough to enhance your confrontation skills. And I don't even want to call it confrontation, but we need to, as adults, be able to communicate hard truths and um, lead with empathy in our communication as well. Like, not take anything personal when someone says something that you don't agree with, but just take stock of like, this might be the awareness they currently have, or this is just where they're at in life. And as someone who is deeply empathic, but also really intentional, kind, and supportive. Like I'm truly a girl's girl. Like I'm the person I will cheer louder for my friends and they'll probably cheer for themselves. Like I celebrate my friends so hard. I show up so deeply for colleagues, friends, acquaintances. Like I am that person. And so I have to remember that not everyone is that back, of course, but also be mindful of the envy, the bitterness, or the jealousy that might be brewing in others because of just who I am or what I've been able to do for myself. So just taking note of all of that, but not creating stories based off of not having answers, if that makes sense. And what I felt, very sleepy, very jet lagged, very tired. I'm gonna go right back to bed. It's like almost 8 and the sun is still up. I love that about this spring forward clock stuff. Yeah, I'm going right to bed. Like if I didn't record this now, I would not have recorded it at night and it would not have gotten done. So I'm glad that it's still going up on a Monday. Sucks that I missed the morning slot, but it is what it is. And yeah, I just feel very tired. Just ready for some sleep. Mm. Hopefully, the audio quality is better. My Rode shotgun mic, it still was picking up some interesting surround sound. So I now have a little clip-in Hollyland mic inside of my shirt. I would show you, but because I don't edit these, I don't want slippage of anything. I have the hiccups. Okay, I think that's about it. Feel free to check in below. I love reading your comments. I appreciate those that check in with me. Like, I know this is super casual. There's like 50 of you that watch every week. Secretly, this is for Future Glow. I mean, you're welcome to watch, but this is for Future Glow to just look at her life in the future and be like, good for her. Good for her for living and trying. Okay, that's it. Thank y'all for watching, and I will see you next week. Yeah, bye.